Hi folks, just to let you know that this video is a re-upload due to some bastard trying to monetize the entire video and take all potential ad revenue with a copyright claim on just 61 seconds worth of my entire 16-minute video. And even that 61 seconds was only about 60% of their entire original clip. Scumbags. Obviously I ain't standing for that shit, so in order to get said company, Rumble Incorporated, to not be a complete fuckknuckle, I've amended the 61 seconds of video, which they feel they're entitled to claim the whole potential ad revenue for. Sorry Rumble Inc, I'd like to see you claim it this time. So, if you fancy seeing me embarrass myself by attempting to sing, then the timestamp for that will be in the description. Hello ladies, gentlemen, boys, girls, innies, outies and in-betweeners. My name's Dan and welcome back to another PAP Reports. Today's Wednesday the 25th of March 2020. And today we're starting with an apology. You may have noticed I was absent yesterday. I was hoping that these reports would keep my mind occupied enough not to have a psychological meltdown, but unfortunately yesterday was an incredibly difficult day for me and I simply couldn't bring myself to do the report. Now I've been doing these reports every weekday since the 6th of January. And so far I've only missed the 11th of February and yesterday, and that's 56 reports that I've managed to put out, and I will continue to do them. However, with my mental health and the fact I now have zero contact with anyone due to the restrictions and assistance when I need it being harder to get, there may be times, days when I struggle and simply can't get myself together to put the report out, but I hope you will continue to stick by the channel, especially those of you who have or are supporting the channel regularly. So let's get on with today's report. In PAP Reports on the 19th of February, we spoke about 60-year-old ex-police Scotland Traffic Police Inspector Keith Farquharson, who was found guilty by jury at Glasgow's High Court of murdering his wife at their home in August 2019. Although there was evidence to suggest a struggle of sorts, Keith denied murdering his wife and instead made up a story about how he was in the shower, heard a noise, and when he came out his wife was laying dead in an apparent fall where she hit her head. Farquharson appeared again before Lady Valerie Stacey at Glasgow's High Court to be told that he would spend the next 15 years in prison. Although the mainstream media are calling it a life sentence, it certainly isn't. However, good riddance. Staying in Scotland now and another death. However, this one isn't about the police as such, but I do think it's important to highlight. 49-year-old Patrick Finn from Glasgow has been jailed for 5 years after killing an armed robber who turned up at his house demanding money. The High Court in Glasgow heard that Ronald Pattison, who had a knife, had threatened to kill Finn and his partner. A fight broke out and Finn grabbed a knife which he used to stab Pattison. However, and this is the important bit, Finn stabbed Pattison 17 times. Lord Matthews, presiding over the case, said, "It is difficult to think of circumstances where provocation is more appropriate than this. This was extreme in the circumstances. However, the jury was satisfied that you went beyond what was necessary." Now, there isn't a great deal of information about this. It seems that the reports have all come from the Press Association, so they're all practically the same. Although I did find one article that said Finn's QC told the court that Finn had led a quiet, simple life, but had been provoked by Pattison, who was known in the local area as a man of violence. Now, it's a shame that the reports are not a little more detailed about this case, because it could have been that the first stab killed Pattison and the other 16 had no consequence on his death. However, it could have been that the first 16 were minor and the last is the one that resulted in his death. I know these details would have been spoken about, but the mainstream media seem to enjoy leaving details out, making it difficult to understand the true circumstances. I think that if someone invades your home with the threat of violence or death, remember to stab them once, somewhere that will kill them straight away. That way you can't be blamed for using excessive violence or force by stabbing or shooting them repeatedly. And it's a shame that we live in a society where violent burglars and thieves have more rights than those they burgle. Are police bribable? Well, we've all heard recently how some places are offering emergency workers free drinks and food while they work hard to keep us safe in this period of unease and uncertainty. And while I'm far from against the NHS workers being helped out as they struggle working all the hours they can to keep people safe and alive, I have still yet to see the police's workload increase. Although with the new powers, I'm sure their abuse rate will go up soon. Well, at 10:43 a.m. on the 20th of March, Merseyside Police's Facebook page posted the following. Walton Lane Local Policing would like to wholeheartedly thank all the lovely business owners who have been offering us hot and cold drinks this week. It is greatly appreciated and we are proud to serve this great community. How wonderful. And I'm sure that will have zero effect on the police's impartiality. Oh, wait. 20 minutes later, they posted this. Walton Lane local policing officers have solved the Great Cream Egg mystery. They were stolen from Home Bargains on Great Homer Street, and Jamie Heady, aged 38 of no fixed abode, has received 8 weeks in prison for theft, assault and obstruction of a constable. The comment section awaits, and happy Friday. Now, while I certainly don't condone theft and thieves should be dealt with accordingly, I find myself wondering why the police prioritise investigation of a £10 box of chocolate cream eggs, which are going to have to be thrown away anyway due to potential contamination, over thefts of vehicles or from homes. At least now we don't have to wonder why the police haven't got the resources or feel it's not in the public interest to investigate your home break-in. Head of Communications at Merseyside Police really needs to get a second opinion before posting on social media. Now, I know you've all had enough of this coronavirus being spoken about. Unfortunately, we're going to see more and more reports about this than anything else in the coming months, and I simply cannot escape it either in these reports. We will no doubt have plenty of reports of police and other officials abusing their new powers. In fact, I'm sure I heard the sound of police rubbing their hands together the night Boris Johnson announced it. But we're also going to see and hear a lot about the cretinous low-life scumbags of society who are contributing to our restrictions, the lockdown and potentially further legislative changes. And these people should not go unnoticed, so I will be reporting on those people who deserve to be named and shamed or whose actions are having an effect on us all but are yet to be identified. Maybe someone watching these reports knows who might be involved, and as far as I'm concerned, although I don't want to do the police's job for them, some people simply need taking off the streets for the safety of others, in my honest opinion. Last week, many of you saw and heard about how Tommy Robinson, Stephen Yaxley Lennon went to the aid of an elderly couple who were being spat at and coughed on by 3 teenagers. One of the boys hit the woman, who is in her 70s, leaving her with a black eye. Tommy was seen on video being questioned by the police about what seems to be his excessive reaction to what the boys were doing to the elderly man and his wife. Now, the reports in mainstream media are, as you would expect, completely devoid of any mention of Tommy Robinson trying to help the elderly couple, who were, on video, seen to be clearly glad that he did intervene.
With this gentleman and his wife?
Yes.
Can you just tell him?
Yeah, because first of all, we're walking down there, and they then purposely
coughed in your direction.
Yeah.
How close though? Close? I saw him with it. He put his hood up.
Yeah, and then we called out to them to say that is absolutely ridiculous. You can't do that. That's just not on.
Oh, mate.
And they then abuse. There was a certain amount of abuse after
Towards,
that.
yeah.
And then you got out the car to challenge them, and they actually upped the aggression. And then got really foul, and then subsequently, as you then started to drive,
Yeah, they started then hitting the car, smashing the car.
Kicking
They kicked the back window. They kicked the back lights in the car. I've got my kids in the car. That's my car. I've got my kids in the car.
Yeah.
That's what I was worried
I
about
know.
your kids. They'll be
I know. Now, you see when you grow up, you see how disgusting them men are.
Oh, the people.
That is disgusting. Here's another witness who witnessed how this all started. Look what they done to Lady Zoe.
So what happened was your husband was driving out here, and you saw there was a lady who's got broken spine, she's not well. So these 3 youths was spitting and everything
In her face. In her face,
Your
bro.
husband,
She just bit no on purpose. Because of the virus. They thought he was clever.
just leaned out of his car and said, boys, give it a rest. That's disgusting behaviour. And they literally came over. They were yanking his car door open, trying to push him, slam him in his own car door. He held it down.
The BBC report mentions the woman's black eye, but intimates that the black eye was the result of the passerby intervening. In fact, it states that a passerby intervened and there was an altercation which left a woman in her 70s with a black eye. Now, even after seeing the video, this is enough of a misleading statement to make you think twice about what you saw on that video that was shared. I know some people are going to stick to their guns about their feelings towards Tommy Robinson, and I'm not suggesting your feelings and opinions are wrong. What I am suggesting, however, is that this woman and her husband could have been anybody's grandparents or parents. And whether you believe he used excessive force or if he should have used more, my personal opinion is that if somebody did that to my parents or grandparents in a time where coughing on someone could infect and kill them, then I sure as shit wouldn't care who intervened or whether the pieces of shit got hurt or not. I do, however, and always try to remain level when reporting. I have a problem with the fact that his kids were in the car and that situation could have put his kids at risk. 3 males aged 16, 18 and 19 were questioned on suspicion of ABH, affray and criminal damage after the incident on Friday afternoon, but released under investigation. Hertfordshire Police said the elderly woman was taken to hospital for a check-up and later discharged. Her vehicle was also said to have been damaged in the incident. Now, another 2 incidents which are related to COVID-19, and these should make you think. If you're a parent who's still allowing your kids out at night or knows their kids are going out, regardless of their ages. 3 NHS workers in the King's Cross Hospital in Dundee had their car windows smashed by vandals while dealing with people infected with coronavirus early this week. One of the victims was Dr. Alec Watson, a doctor who assigns the level of urgency to patients suspected of having the virus. Now, it's been said that nothing was stolen from the vehicles, which makes it worse as a willful act of vandalism. And while down in Manchester, at the Withington Community Hospital, 3 men were seen getting out of a black BMW in the early hours of Saturday, where it transpires they cut a lock on a storage unit and stole 8 oxygen and nitrous oxide canisters. In a time when people need oxygen to help them breathe as a result of the pneumonia-like effects that coronavirus is said to have. Although the hospital is not said to be treating any coronavirus patients at the moment, this is still a sickening act from people whose actions could result in more serious consequences. This is a time when we need to be working together, not attacking one another. I mean, we're under attack enough by government restrictions and potential restrictions, and with legislations being passed to give the police and officials more and more powers over us, we should be coming together. People like this do not deserve a place in a decent society, using the unfortunate circumstances to target people. I mean, that's the job of the police against the public, not the public against the public. I have parents, siblings and children. I certainly don't want anything happening to them because of some fuckknuckle trying to take advantage of the situation, or because the parents or other family members of said fuckknuckles are simply allowing them to go out and do this shit. And now something I certainly wouldn't expect to see from our own police here in the UK. Unless, of course, it's being done for the sole purpose of publicity, rather than, just to be nice. This is something my own brother was telling me about as well. Police officers in Spain have been keeping quarantined locals' spirits up by singing for them in the streets. The officers in the town of Algueda in the Mediterranean island of Mallorca drove through the streets with sirens on before asking people stuck inside, "Do you feel like singing with us?" They then burst into a choreographed song and dance routine performing En Jong Petit Quan Bala, if that's how you pronounce it, which is a traditional Mallorcan children's song according to local media. Now, due to Rumblelink trying to screw me over all potential ad revenue for this entire video for claiming just the next 61 seconds, I will now transform this next minute enough to make it fair use by attempting to sing the English version of the song the Spanish police are singing to those in isolation lockdown. This song is a children's song and apparently dates back to the Middle Ages. It's very repetitive and has versions in French, Occitan and of course the Spanish version. However, when translated into English it sounds very peculiar and I have yet to be able to sing it without laughing. When Little John dances, 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 dances. When Little John dances, he dances with his finger, finger, finger. This is how Little John dances. When Little John dances, 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 dances. When Little John dances, he dances with his hand, hand, with his finger, finger. This is how Little John dances. When Little John dances, 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 dances. When Little John dances, he dances with his elbow, elbow, with his hand, with his finger, finger. This is how Little John dances. Residents appeared to enjoy the performance, singing and clapping along to the music while under nationwide lockdown due to the coronavirus pandemic. I wonder how many videos like this we'll see from our own police farce. Big thank you to Patreon supporters Motty Lad, Holly, Adi, Dave, Ian, Copwatch UK, Dean, Jay and Carl, whose support is helping me to continue providing this content, especially as almost every report is deemed unsuitable for most advertisers. Anyway, that's all I have for you today. Please like, share, comment and subscribe. Let me know your thoughts, as I know many of you will. And until next time, stay safe, look after each other, film the police and other officials.
Good night, all.
Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. If you like the content and you'd like to help support the channel, you can do so. In the description of every video there are some links to ways that you're able to help support the channel so I can continue putting out content. If you're unable to help us in that way, hit that subscribe button up the top there. If you haven't already, become a subscriber. That is support enough. Share the videos, comment, like, it all helps. If you're looking for something else to watch, up top there is my latest video. Down the bottom there is a video that YouTube recommends for you.